Hello guys, welcome to this channel. In this video we want to look at the Satoshi OpenEx airdrop. There is an update coming in from the OEX team and we want to dive into that and see what is happening. Is OEX ready to launch? Have they finally agreed with the exchanges? They are now ready to launch in my view, but they just need to hear the opinion of the community before they can make the decision, because now they say OEX is actually a community-driven program. So in this video, we want to look at that, what they are actually proposing, and whether we are going to agree with that or not. So we are going to dive into that. Everything is going to be explained in this video. Otherwise, welcome to this channel. If it's your first time here, of course, hit the subscribe button to get a ton of content of this nature. And of course, do not forget to join our Telegram channel, because all our links, every update that you need to get firsthand, you need to get it on our Telegram channel. Now, this is OpenEx Twitter handle, and this is actually what they said yesterday. Excited to launch DAO governance voting. So OpenEx is now more community driven. Vote on proposals using your OEX points and shape the project's future. After OEX TGEs, takers can initiate proposals for even more influence. So that means if you have more coins, means more votes and more influence for that matter. So now what you're going to do, just go to the Google Play Store. First of all, update the OEX app. Just search for OEX app. You're going to see the update option. Go ahead and update. The next thing, just go ahead and log into your OEX app, or you can import MetaMask if that's what you did. All right. So once you have imported MetaMask, you're going to get the voting option. So as you can see here, the updated application has one extra option which has been added. That is the vote option. So we are going to jump into this and see what is on the voting section. So this is actually the proposal they have. So you're going to tap on create proposal, and sorry, let me just refresh and see. You need to stake sufficient. Okay, there is something they are saying here. Let me just refresh and see what is going to show up. All right. Let me just hold on a second. Okay, I'm realizing something here. First of all, let's jump into this. So first of all, when you check on this proposal, first of all, they are proposing to postpone OEX listing due to market conditions. So they proceed to say, given the current poor market conditions and the recent underperformance of newly listed projects, proceeding with our listing at this time may risk the efforts of our community members. That means if they list right now, the price might not be exciting to the community. So some listing partners have also suggested that OEX delay its listing plans. This proposal suggests postponing the OEX listing, aiming for a new time frame between late July and the end of August. During this period, we will further improve our product, grow our community, and establish partnerships with better exchanges. If market conditions improve, we may consider rescheduling the listing for an earlier date. So what they are trying to say here is, first of all, the market conditions, of course, currently we are on the bearish market. The market has actually been stubborn of late. So they are actually proposing that if we vote for this, they are suggesting that they list towards the end of July up to even August. All right. So let's say late July and the end of August. So about 1 or 2 months from now. And of course, in my view, they're actually planning to have the price that is favorable and that will favor the community for everyone to be smiling. So now I think I'm going to go with that proposal. I'll just pick the first proposal and then I'll just proceed to say vote. So that is a success. So the next proposal they're making, and by the way, in this video I also want to explain because there is one of the voting questions here which I might actually use to predict what the value of OEX will be based on the questions that we are being asked here. So make sure you watch this particular video up to the very end because it's going to be very interesting. So I've already voted for that. So let's see what's next. The next is proposal to adjust OEX tokenomics. So this is actually where my question is going to be, but I just want to handle this as the last bit. So proposal to address unclaimed airdrop. So they're asking us to vote for. Remember, we were submitting the OEX wallet address for withdrawal, and for some reasons, some people did not submit their OEX withdrawal, or they probably didn't submit a correct address. So they might not be able to withdraw their tokens. And these tokens that are not going to be withdrawn, they are not accounted for. So they are asking us whether they are actually supposing that they ban the unclaimed tokens after the airdrop ends. All right. So of course that is the option I'll be going with, or reallocate the unclaimed tokens back to the airdrop reward pool to be distributed as rewards for inviting new users. That means if people will be inviting other people into OEX app, they will be rewarded with those points. Or disagree with the above solution. So I think I can go with the first option, the second option, that is reallocate to those people who may consider inviting others to the OEX app. So I'm going to vote for that. And then the last one, which I'm actually going to use to easily predict the value of what I think OEX is going to be at the launch if they are going to postpone this listing. So let me look at this now, the tokenomics. So with this, I can actually guess what the value of OEX is going to be. So let's jump into this. So they are saying this proposal aims to address liquidity issue for OpenEx during the initial exchange listing. In the previous publicized community draft, we planned to use marketing tokens for providing liquidity required by market makers during exchange listing and for establishing DEX liquidity pools. However, these tokens were not scheduled for initial unlocking at TGE, leading to a potential liquidity shortage during exchange listing. So to resolve this, we propose the following adjustment. First of all, allocate 2% of the total supply from the team allocation specifically for liquidity provision during listing. All right. We are actually doing some serious mathematics here. Approximately 0.2% of those tokens will be used for a fair launch event prior to listing to acquire USDT or other necessary tokens for liquidity provision and cover some exchange listing fees. Actually, that statement alone is enough for me to look at what the value of OEX is likely to be. So note that 50% of the 2% allocated for liquidity will unlock immediately at TGE, with the remaining 50% unlocking linearly over 6 months post TGE. All right. So, of course, I'm going to be agreeing to reduce 2% of the tokens from the team, that is from 10% to 8% allocated for liquidity. So I'll pick that first option and I vote. And then let's now see what is likely to be the value of OEX at listing. So now let's do some maths here. Even before we do maths, let me take you to OEX, the current OEX tokenomics. Yes, these are the current OEX tokenomics. And if you look at it, the team is actually getting 10% of the total supply, all right? 10% of the total supply, that is for the team pool, that is 10% of 10 billion is 1 billion. So let's see. 10% 10% of 10 billion is one. So 1 billion is the tokens allocated to the team. But then now they are suggesting instead of allocating them 10%, they should give them 8%, which means they are taking 2%. And this 2% is going to be going for liquidity, all right? To make sure that they have sufficient liquidity. So what is 2% of 1 billion? So times 2%. So that means out of 1 billion tokens, they are going to deduct 20 million tokens from the OEX team to allocate to liquidity. And then they proceed to say, out of these 20 million tokens, 0.2% of this is going to be allocated for fair launch. They are going to be doing a fair launch. A fair launch is actually an activity where they sell some of these tokens to the community at a fair price, all right? A uniform price to all the participants. And their main goal is to raise some money, all right? So they are raising some USDT and some liquidity, which will be sufficient for exchange listings and liquidity, all right? So how much is 0.2% of 20 million? Because that is what I want us to look at. 0.2% of this 20 million is what will be allocated for fair launch. So let's see how many tokens are allocated for fair launch. So this times 0.2%. So that means they are only out of 20 million tokens which are going to be providing liquidity. 0.2% of that will actually be going to fair launch. So that means they will be selling 40,000 OEX tokens to raise some USDT, which will be required at the launch as USDT, because exchanges will require OEX team to provide OEX tokens and USDT, which is normally required by exchanges. And remember, OEX is not likely to list in one exchange, maybe 2, 3, 4 exchanges. They can actually list up to 5 exchanges. It's very possible. Of course, that means every exchange will require some money. Then, of course, you can guess. How much money do you think, if they are going to list, let's say, for example, in, let's assume they are going to be listing in 3 or 4, let's talk of 3 exchanges on the bare minimum. So every exchange probably could require something like between $20,000 to $30,000 in terms of USDT, or more. It could actually be more. So $30,000, they need to raise $30,000, for example, for each exchange, all right? $30,000. So if they are going to be listing on, let's say, for example, 4 exchanges, I'm actually assuming, that means they need to raise how much? They need to raise $120,000. If they were to list in 3 exchanges, they need to raise $90,000. And now remember, they are actually having, they need to raise $90,000. They need to raise $90,000, and the number of coins they have is actually 40,000. That means the fair launch needs to raise them $90,000. And how many tokens are they selling to raise $90,000? They are actually selling 40,000 tokens. So that means the fair launch price, according to what we are analyzing here, of course, you know, exchanges cannot require $1,000 or $2,000. I know it could be a lot of money, probably from $20,000. So working with that, that means the fair launch price for one OEX token will be $2.25. And if the fair launch price will be $2.25, that means the OEX listing price obviously will be more than this. And it could actually be double. It could easily be double, so that those who will be buying their tokens on the fair launch will be probably making double, or at least 1.5 times. All right, they could actually, assuming even if they were not to make, even if they were to just make 50% profit, so times 1.5, let me just see. That means the price at the launch could easily be above $3, all right? $3.375. So if the fair launch is going to be $2.25, of course, then expect the listing price could be above $3. So they're actually begging the community to give their opinion, and in their opinion is that they are actually requesting for this extra time to cook enough to prepare their products and come up with the best listing price that is organic, natural, that is not forced, that will not easily dump. They want the best market conditions for the community, and if this happens, I'm actually seeing a possibility of OEX token listing above $3. It could actually go even up to $5. We never can tell. The best thing is that they're actually ready to list with a very good price. So let's just keep our fingers crossed, because this project could actually reward big time. It might be worth the wait. So you can actually proceed to vote what you think is best for you based on what I've explained. Let's just keep voting, and then of course I think voting is going to end in the next 3 or 4 days, and we are going to be getting the feedback whether they are going to be launching at the current market condition, or they are going to be postponing for like a month or two to make sure they cook enough to make sure they come up with the best of the best listing price. Otherwise, that is the update from the OEX team. Let me know what you think about this OEX team on the comment section below. Let's keep the conversation going. And what do you think? What are you going to vote for? Do you support listing at the current market condition, or you want the listing to be postponed for the best results? Let me know your comments on the comment section below. Otherwise, thank you very much. I'll be seeing you in the next video.